let's recap here. Entrepreneurs are opportunity seekers. They create businesses to solve problems that people face every day. So an example of creating businesses to solve problems that people face every day is, if we look at this current COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a surge in demand of medical equipment, medical gear. So many entrepreneurs are creating businesses or even shifting their businesses, sort of pivoting to create these products that people demand. So let's take a look at how we sort of go from idea to business. So you identify a need in the market, you think about a solution to a problem, you develop a business model and a plan that will make money, you create a prototype of the product or service, and you conduct market research and you gain consumer feedback by doing things like surveys and observations. So the most important thing is you identify a need and you create a solution to the problem, to the need itself. And then once you have a solution, then we can sort of think about how we can make money off of the solution and turn it into a real business. So to illustrate this 5-step model, I'm going to talk about 2 companies that are pretty familiar to many people watching this video. Let's take a look at 2 companies here. Netflix and Blockbuster, sort of 2 video themed companies. Blockbuster was founded in 1985 and it's currently, it was valued at 8.4 billion in 1994, and then it sort of started to decline a little bit, and then Netflix really started to skyrocket. So we're going to look at these 2 companies, and they're very different. Blockbuster was huge. It had many chains, many stores, and then at one point it was like one of the biggest companies, and then it started to decline. So let's take a look at the revenue, the money that each of these companies made per year. So you can see that Blockbuster started to peak around at 2004 right here. And then it started to decline, and then Netflix sort of moved the opposite direction. So in 2007, they launched a streaming platform and then sort of took away a lot of Blockbuster's market share. And then Netflix is currently thriving today. So let's take a look at what led to the rise of Netflix. So pre-Netflix, people go to brick and mortar stores, which are the actual physical stores. The people rent movies through DVDs, VHSs, and these prices were actually a lot cheaper through renting than to actually buy the actual DVD or VHS. So many people were incentivized. They were motivated to rent the actual DVDs and VHSs. And it was a lot cheaper, and then people enjoyed the experience of actually going to the stores for some people. And we had cable television, multiple channels, and Blockbuster had a competitive advantage because they had a lot of different retail locations. So that was pre-Netflix, but through the sort of Blockbuster pre-Netflix era, we have some problems. First of all, consumers don't like paying late fees. One of the ways that Blockbuster made money was that if people didn't return their DVDs on time, so like sort of borrowing DVDs and then returning them, then people were charged late fees. And it was very inconvenient to sort of go there and then come back and then return the DVDs again. So it was always or somewhat inconvenient. DVDs were also not always available. So Blockbuster was someplace where you could go and borrow DVDs and then return them. So much like a library today. And the DVDs were not always available because if you only have 3 or 4 copies per store, then it means that you have to wait until it's available. And there's also an inability to watch shows when and where. Yes, you borrow the DVD, you bring it home, but you only have a certain amount of time to watch it, and then you have to return it. And then if you want to keep it longer, you have to extend it, but if you don't return it on time, you were charged late fees. So here comes Netflix. Netflix, you have one price, unlimited viewing and usage, watch as much as you want or as little as you want, and you're not charged per DVD. There's no late fees, and customers pay the fee up front for the month, and you watch whenever you want, how much, when you want, on multiple platforms and accounts. And Netflix is also starting to create some original content, recommendations through digital streaming, and a lot of people have enjoyed some of the TV series that they've created. So Blockbuster had competitive advantages because they could rent DVDs really cheap. They could buy DVDs from the actual film production companies at a really cheap price, but people didn't like the service because they had to return it after they borrowed it, and it was inconvenient. So Netflix has reigned supreme because one price, watch as much as you want or as little as you want. So pain points. Pain points are issues that a consumer is facing, and this can create opportunities for improvement. Through feedback, observations, and surveys, one can identify the types of problems that people encounter and then create businesses to solve these issues. So one of the companies that has really taken off during this COVID-19 pandemic is Instacart. Many consumers do not have time to shop for fresh groceries, or maybe they don't want to wait in line, or maybe it's inconvenient for them to buy fresh groceries all the time. So this pain point led to the creation of a grocery delivery app called Instacart, and you can get things like a same-day grocery delivery in as fast as an hour, but usually it's like a few hours. You place your order and then somebody does all your shopping for you. So this was a pain point. People sort of had some inconvenience, and you create a business to solve that pain point. So when you think about pain points and think about potential businesses to create, you can go around and look to your local community and observe your needs. You can do surveys, but really think about things that people need, and that's where you can sort of tap in and create a business. So you can look for things that people are too busy to do, look for things that people don't like to do, look for ways you can showcase your talents, look for things that need to be routinely done, or you can look at a website like Craigslist and see what people are sort of needing or are hiring people for. So here's a list of some things that people are too busy to do. Landscape and lawn mowing is one. So you look at some houses and they're paying like $40, and you sort of take care of their lawns and do landscaping. You can do dry cleaning. You can run social media for businesses. So a lot of businesses are moving onto online platforms, so you can run their Facebook, their Twitter, their Instagram, and get compensated quite well. You can look for things that people don't like to do, like cleaning, painting, and moving. You could showcase your talents, like arts and crafts, creative design, do some tutoring. Like if you're good at math and science, you could sort of leverage your talents and do some tutoring and make some money off of that. You can look for things that needs to be routinely done, like haircuts, nails, personal services, dog walking. Or you can look at needs in your own community. You can look at errands. You can look at babysitting, because a lot of essential workers are going to work, so they need somebody to care after their children. And medical masks and gear continue to be a need in our community. So when you decide when you have a list of ideas, then you sort of write down all of your ideas and then rank them based on a few scales, based on preference. So consider things such as expertise in the field, cost of starting up, the resources that you have, easy to enter and exit, number of competitors, personal interest in the field, and then potential profit. So if I'm you and I'm thinking about a business to start, I have a list of ideas that I'm potentially interested in, and then I sort of narrow it down into a few, like a handful, and then I sort of rank them based on some preferences. So I'm going to go through an example. Here's the list of problems that people face. How do we solve this problem? And how do we make money with this solution? So this was the pain points that people face every day. And then we think about some business ideas. And then we think about a business, like a model, and how we can make money off of this. And then we narrow it down to, let's say for example, I'm thinking about two business ideas. So we have lawn mowing and tutoring. So my expertise lies in education. I'm a teacher, so tutoring might be a good fit. I don't know much about lawn mowing. Relatively both are sort of low cost to start up, because if you have a lawnmower, then you don't have to sort of buy one. You can use whatever you have at your home. Be resourceful. Tutoring, I have some resources. So you can really minimize the cost of your startup if you have things around your home and you can sort of start up. Resources. Look around at your home and see what you have or don't have, and then think about things that you have to buy in order to start the business. Think about if it's easy to enter or exit. So if you need to start a company and there's a lot of legal sort of regulations, so like for example, a restaurant will need to have food safe and all these certifications, then it might be a little bit more complicated. Number of competitors. There's not a lot of lawn mowing businesses around me, but tutoring, there's a lot of businesses. Potential interest. I'm more interested in tutoring, so if I were to pursue that, that'd be my personal passion, but I'm not very interested in lawn mowing. And you can also look at profit potential, see what competitors are charging for their services, and then see if you can match it or even better it. So with that, I'm going to leave you with a few key takeaways, and that should be it for today. And the real key here is to look at opportunities, look at pain points, and look to solve problems that people encounter every day. Brainstorm possible business ideas on a piece of paper, think about things that need to be done, and then you can sort of narrow down your business ideas. And then you can rank your ideas based on criteria or qualifiers. And then next episode, I'm going to be looking at how to look at creating a specific target market. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. So thank you for watching, everybody, and hope you have a good day.